Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today I want to show you why user data for EC2 and launch template might not be working. So here are some few things to note. So the first one is you must specify your interpreter. So I have two examples here. You must also not leave any empty spaces and lines. So let's move on to the hands-on demo. I have a short script here which I'm going to use for the demo. But before we start, let's look at my network settings. So if I go to my VPC, so I have a VPC here that I'm going to use. I have two public subnets. So if you don't have VPC, you can create one, or you can also work with your default VPC. I also have a security group. This will be the security group I'm going to use. Port 22, port 80, and 443 open. So if you don't have a security group, you can create one. And I also have a key. It's very easy to create. So if you don't have those, make sure you create one. So now let's move on to EC2. And I'm going to launch an instance. So I'm going to do test one. I'm going to use Ubuntu image. I'll keep everything here default. And then I'll scroll down. I'm going to select my key. And then for my network, I'm going to click on edit. And then I'm going to select my VPC. I'm going to assign public IP. And then for security group, I'm going to select my security group. And then here, I'll click on advanced details and scroll all the way down to user data. So I'm going to copy this, which is the script that I'll be running. Now, like I said in the instructions, you have to make sure you set up your environment and you should leave no empty spaces. So for this example, I'm going to take off the environment part and I'm leaving an empty line in this one. So this script will not work. It shouldn't run. So let's create this instance. Let's go back and create another one. So let's do test 2 for this one. Same as before. I'm selecting my key, my network, selecting my VPC, I'm assigning public IP. I'm using the same security group, and then click on advanced details and scroll down. So in this example, I'm going to leave my environment there, but I'm still going to leave an empty line, and this will also not work. So let's create another one here, which we are going to do the right way. I'm going to label this as good. Keep the settings default. Select my key. Then select my VPC. I'm assigning public IP, existing security group. Then I go all the way down to user data, right? So this is the right way. I've set up my environment. There's no empty space. And then each line, there's no empty space before each of the lines here. So this should be how it should look like. So let's do one more for launch template. So let's create a launch template. Label this as test3. So description, I'm going to put the same thing there. I'll check this one. I'm going to use Ubuntu image. So instant type, select the free tier, and then select my key here. So for networking, so since I'm using this for creating the instance and not, so I'm not using this for auto scaling, so it's okay if I select my subnet. But if you're using your launch template for auto scaling, then you should not specify your subnet. So security group, I'm using existing security group. So we already have a security group here. I'm going to assign public IP, and then I will leave the rest of the settings default, and then I'll come down, then put my user data. Let me copy it again from here, and then I'll paste it the right way, right? So there's no empty lines here, and I've set up my environment. So let me create the launch template. Okay, so it's complaining about this, so I'm going to remove the subnet, and then we'll include the subnet at the time of creating the EC2 instance. So I'm create my launch template. So let's go back to console here. So I'll go back to launch template. So this is the one we just created. So I'm going to select that, go to actions, and I'm going to launch instance from the template that we just created. So we have all of our settings. The only thing we need to include here is the subnet from our VPC, and we are good to go. So click on launch instance. Now let's go back and look at these instances here. So this is the good one. So let's see if we can access the web page. Right, so this is the web page that we just installed on that EC2 instance. Let's try the one. Right, so you see the user data did not install the web server. Let's try this one also. We can also see it did not install the web server. Let's try, see, let me reload my page, and this is the one I launched with the launch template. So I'll label it as LT. So let's wait for that to come up, and then we'll test that one also. Our last instance is up, the one we launched with the launch template. So let's test that one also. Let's copy the IP. Right, so for that one also we can see that the web server has been installed successfully. So let's go back here, let's check. So I'll select this, then right click, go to monitor and troubleshoot. So let's get system logs. Okay, so let's try the other one. Since this one was launched with the launch template, let's try this one. So let's go to get system log. All right, so here we can see that the user data script was executed successfully, right? As we can see here. Let's check the other ones that didn't run, that did not run. So for example, let's check this one. So we can see that we don't have that message here, right? So this is how you can avoid that error you get anytime you try to install script via user data. So this is how you can avoid that, right? Thanks for watching this short video. I hope it was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.